Blessings,
Thank
sister.
you. Bless you.
You
Thank
can go
you.
right here, right here.
Right here. Thanks. The samples. Okay, thank you.
Introduce yourself to the people.
All right. It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes, yes. Again, we have Queen of Four. I was just fiddling around. You know, I don't know all of what I'm talking about, but
Well, you look healthy. I think you might.
Well, you know what, Queen? I met your work in the late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah, been around for a minute. Both of us then, if you met it back then.
I met it with the book Heal Thyself, but it was a green book.
Yes.
The solid green cover.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you this right here is that what I notice is, as I look at a lot of these talk shows today, I was in a company, and I won't call them a show, but I was in Chicago a few months ago, and they had this doctor that was talking. I mean, he was just going on, and the whole crowd was going on with him about all this. Oh, they was excited about this, cleanse the body and this, that, and other. So at the end, you know, and they let us ask questions. Of course, at that time, the cameras was off. You know, made sure the camera was off and everything. I said, have you ever met Queen of Four? Am I pronouncing my name right?
Absolutely.
I said, have you ever met, because this stuff that you're talking about, you must have read the book Heal Thyself.
Yeah.
I have a green copy of it in my basement somewhere. You know, I think everybody got a green copy.
Yes.
So, you know, and to the amazement of myself, there was so many people in Chicago that had not even a clue. That did not, they asked me, well, you know, were you from England? I said, well, I don't know whether she's by way of England. But I just want to tell you this right here. She's brown just like you.
Absolutely.
You understand what I mean? And it was an exciting thing. You know, we had a good time and everything. And I, at that time, I just did not know how I was going to reach out to you. You know, I'm busy with the radio show, community things that I'm doing with the church, what's happening now in the Town Talk show. And bless the God, I was talking to Brother Maynard at one of the meetings, and we were just sitting there talking, and before you know it, he brought up I said, yes, I know her work.
Yeah, oh, well, good.
So, you know what I mean?
Well, people know my work more than they know me, and that's a good thing. That means it's been traveling out to different cities, towns, and countries.
Yes.
I've been doing this for 37 years.
Okay.
And I say I'm 37 years clean of drugs as fast foods.
Okay.
Processed foods.
Yes.
Sugar that eats up the nervous system, the brain, the bones, and joints. Fried foods that cause clogging of the arteries, can cause a heart attack or an aneurysm. So I've been off of all those toxic foods since I was 17. So it's been a long journey.
Wow, since you're 17 years old.
That's when I started, because I was very sick. I was a very sick young woman, and I had so many different diseases. That's why I'm so convinced that if I could be well, that anyone could be well. That just embrace nature.
Now, are you're from New York?
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, where in the South do your people come up from?
Louisiana and
Alabama. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a different migration trail in the New Yorkers, more than the Carolinians are there. Yeah. Wow.
And your people?
Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, we come up from Georgia. And I was just, I don't know whether you guys were listening in. You have a section here talk about a special message to breastfeeding. Breastfeeding mothers. You should strive to breastfeed for 1 to 3 years, and that's important.
How are you going to do that? Right. Well, how would you even do that and still function?
Yes.
And most can't, but you know, they have the breast pump, so you can still breastfeed your child.
Okay.
And, you know, then it's also what you're eating, because the child's going to eventually be eating food.
Sure.
The breastfeeding helps to protect the immune system
for
1 year from infections and colds and that kind of thing. And so it's good to boost the immune system up and protect them early on, because how you begin is where you're going to be.
Sure.
That's your foundation.
And it should be taught in terms of more of a community thing between husband and wife, that this is what's going to be done, because I remember being a young lad and watching the first breastfeed. You know, I was amazed. It was my uncle's supposedly daughter was supposed to be on the breast. I was a little young boy, and my uncle and his wife stayed with us. But come to find out, it was him on the breast. He would breastfeed and send me to get Similac for the baby.
That is something else. Oh my goodness, he didn't get a lot of nurturing at home, did he? He needs to heal thyself.
Yeah, heal thyself.
Yeah.
You know, he used to send me to get something like an iron, but every night I would ease in there, crawl in there, he was on the breast and everything.
Okay.
So how do today, I mean, you know, and this is not a joke, this is true. Is it harmful in any way?
To breastfeed? Well, if the woman is toxic.
Okay.
If she's eating junk foods, fried foods, fast foods, microwave foods, late night eating,
Okay.
emotional eating, then the milk is not of high quality and the child will only get sick.
Okay.
So if a mother's going to pass on wellness, she has to pass on through her own lifestyle and her emotions.
Sure.
If she's angry, if she's holding hostility, if there's friction in the home between her and her husband, it's going to also show up in her milk. It's going to be toxic milk.
Well, that probably, in today's world, would almost be an everyday thing.
No, well, that's why you have to heal yourself every day.
Sure.
Healing is not like you do when you get sick. You also have to do healing to prevent from getting sick.
Yes.
And so many of our families are suffering from high blood pressure and diabetes, and that's passed down through the bloodline.
Yes.
And it's from the diet, but it's also due to family stress. And so you got to change from your cellular level, and you got to change your lifestyle in order to really break the cycle of disease.
So actually, this level of disease is really self-induced.
It's much as well. Sometimes we're born into it, and if
Sure.
we don't change our habits, then it is self-induced, and you continue the same eating patterns that your grandmother. You said,
Sure.
"Well, my grandmother lived to be such and such age, so I can do." Well, see, she was exercising. She was out early in the morning.
Yes.
You know, she was growing her own food, possibly,
Yes,
and she
yes.
was maybe walking distances to
Yeah,
get
without
from one
doubt.
point to the
Yes,
next,
yes.
and you're sitting in the car, and all that poison is just crystallizing. And then also, they had food that was more organic. They
Yes.
wasn't a turkey now. If you have turkey around the holidays, you're in trouble because by the time they shoot off the steroids and the hormones to get a turkey in everyone's home, it's a lot of work. So that means a lot of processing, a lot of chemicals. And so it's not even the meat alone; it's all those chemicals that is causing some of the cancers that we're having.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Do you talk? I have a talk about the microwave at all.
yes. Well, the heat alone that destroys all the minerals and the body. What I find is that a lot of people suffer from obesity. A lot of people suffer from obesity. It's just
Sure.
a global thing. And why is that? Because the food is empty. It has no substance in it.
But
It's cooked out or microwaved out.
But is that a part of the stress that a lot of us go through? You know, I remember back in the '90s going through a great deal of stress and everything, and I'm sure the great Lord upstairs was looking out for me because I was attracted to a box of apples a week. My fruit bill a week, Queen, was about $45 a week. And I remember eating every
So
apple
you were
and
detoxing and cleansing every day.
and didn't even realize.
You have longevity.
I had no
experience.
clue.
It's beautiful.
I had no clue. I would tear through
Was
20
that encouraged by your
tangerines.
family?
No, not at
That
all.
was
Not at
just
all.
you and your own.
Just me on my own. On my
Okay,
own.
but that's
I would
neat.
tear through 20 tangerines like it was
Okay.
nothing.
Okay.
You know,
right,
from
yeah.
from this area here in Plainfield, the Newark Airport, I could cut through 7 apples.
Okay, well,
And
you're
just,
different.
you
You're
know.
a different being.
You know?
Because most people that, when they're young, they usually have to go through a crisis
Yeah.
to really get into holistic healing.
Well, let me say, in 1980, I was very much obese.
Okay.
And Spirit spoke to me March 25th
Yes.
of 1980 and told me to take a good look at myself. And I took that look, and I've been exercising ever since.
Okay.
And I, got into deep exercising and everything. And as I said before, you came out, where you have a part in the book toward evolving into the new lifestyle.
Yes.
Not so much a shock, but the evolution. And I said, that's my learning practice, even on exercise, to just evolve into it and everything.
Yes.
So from 1980, I have been working out with weights and running and things of that nature. But I picked up a storm in the 90s that I just was really going through a great deal of stress.
Okay.
You see.
Okay.
So, and fruit was like, I would go to Costco's and buy those big bags of grapes,
But did you undo the stress through eating that way? Was that your purpose, your mission?
Well, you know what? I really didn't know. I really didn't have the clue of my great appetite for fruit at that time. I've always ate fruit, but not to that quantity, to that amount. But when I look back on it, I say, that was the time that I was going through a lot of
And nature was
stress.
healing you.